Hey everyone, it's Gary from CloudNet 360, and I was just out for a run. I might be breathing a little heavy, hair's a little scruffy, and I'm still in my sweaty t-shirt, but what I like to do when I go running is I don't wear earbuds. I just like to run, be in the moment, and think. And I like to get ideas, I like to just take in the scenery, and when you do that, when you're not out running with your earbuds on and you're paying attention to just what you're doing and not always distracted, you come up with better ideas. It's like being in the shower when you come up with these ideas and they just pop into your head. And all too often, as you progress with your day, by the time you get to the office, they pop out of your head again. So those are the things you have to write down right away. You have to document them, or grab your laptop, and if you have an idea for an article, just get writing. I talk about this all the time on how it's more productive to write in the morning than later on in the day. Your ideas are fresh in the morning. But anyhow, I'm off on a bit of a tangent. What I really wanted to talk about was a continuation of the topic that we talked about yesterday. And what I said yesterday was to be successful in business, to have a long-term business that you make profits from. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You have to stay in business in order to be successful at business. And I always use Soccer Labs as an example because really for me to use CloudNet 360, it's such a, it's a different type of business that the average person is going to start. It's not really applicable. Whereas Soccer Labs is something that, again, it's a moonlight business. It's something that, it's not our primary function, but hey, if you can make 40, 50 grand on a, business that you're passionate about, if it's a moonlighting gig, couple hours a day, yeah, it's not a bad deal, especially if it's something you really love, right? And that's what Soccer Labs is. But what I wanted to show you was just yesterday, what happens when you just have a long-term funnel, just a drip, drip, drip type of funnel campaign where you're sending emails, you're doing offline advertising, you're making phone calls, you're supporting tournaments, you've got a wrap around a vehicle. All those things are means of advertising that we do. And what happens is that you plant these seeds and things just start growing and building into your business. Customers just appear. Well, they're not appearing out of nowhere. They're coming from your Facebook videos. They're coming from your YouTube videos. They're coming from your wrap. They're coming from your email campaigns that are going out, your direct mail, your phone calls, okay? And just yesterday, I had one guy come in just out of the blue, just walked in the door and said, hey, I'm here to check the place out. I want to see what it's like because I've got my 10-year-old daughter that wants to do something. And I remember you guys from last year, again, a year ago. He didn't see a video last week or yesterday or, click on some Facebook ad just the night before. He saw us a year ago. And this plays into exactly what I'm talking about. If we would not be in business today, that guy wouldn't be a customer, all right? There is a pipeline that gets filled up, and all businesses are the same. You fill up this pipeline, and you know how you buy things. There's a lot of things you see, and you think to yourself, hey, that is an awesome product. Excuse me. But I just don't want it today. That doesn't mean you're not going to buy it 6 months from now, a year from now, or 2 years from now. Think about the products that you buy that maybe you had a gestation period of 2 or 3 or 5 years. I mean, you've wanted it, you've looked at it, you've tried them, you've used your friends, and eventually you get around to buying it. So if you're in business long enough, eventually that pipeline will start spilling out and they become customers. Now, the other thing is that the traditional way of doing business is great. The new way of doing business is great. And here's another example where we had 2 new customers come into our pipeline through our sales automation system. So it's a combination that we're using of pure sales automation where we don't touch anything. It just comes in through the funnel. And then there's the advertising that we're out physically doing. We're out physically supporting these tournaments. We're out making contacts with the clubs, with the coaches, with trainers, with all these different people. We're out doing all these different activities. So we're not counting on one thing or another or another. We're really taking a multifaceted sales approach, which again, that's why we have our sales paths where you can have emails, text messages, snail mail. You can have sales calls. You can have all these different functions built into your funnel. It's not just a run the email, run the email, run the email, email like you get with your basic, let's call it a dumb autoresponder. So I thought the timing was perfect. I talked about longevity, and sure enough, a guy walks in and, well, back up. It's important to always ask people when they show up like that, how did you hear of us? I mean, that's such an important question. It's something I do all the time. So how did I know this guy found us from a year ago? Well, I asked him. I said, hey, how did you hear about us? He didn't say Facebook ad. He said, look, I saw you guys a year ago at the Cougars tournament. So the timing was perfect. It fell right into the message that I've been talking about of to be successful in business, you need to stay in business. If you can stay in business long enough, if you can just do nothing more than survive, there is a very high likelihood that you will be successful in business. Now, when you see all these people talking about, I'll 10x your business, I'll 20x your business, it's kind of like that old story where the pauper creates the chess game and asks the king for nothing more than a grain of rice in the first square and 2 grains in the second, and doubling into the third and doubling again. It's that doubling factor that just, literally is impossible. So if you were to go out and say, look, I'm going to hire this guy because he can 10x this, then I'm going to hire this guy because he can 10x that, it's not going to work. You make your business 2 people at a time, 1 person at a time. And in yesterday's case, 2 from online, 1 from offline. And they come in dribs and drabs and they build, which is another good reason why you want a subscription model like we have at Soccer Labs. But they build in that fashion. They don't build 10x at a time, 10x at a time, 10x at a time. If you're thinking that your business is dependent upon a 10x growth spurt, I meant to say. Again, I'm missing a little oxygen from my brain yet. So, if you think your business is going to grow in these 10x growth spurts, you're kidding yourself. You're being delusional. And you're not being serious. Being in a serious business is stepping back and saying, look, what do I have to do to survive a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road? Make money along the way. I'm not saying to lose money, but look, $2 a day, $3 a day, $5 a day to run your business. You can survive a long time. You can work your day job a long time while you're building up your business. But when you start bringing in 2 customers here, 1 customer is there, 3 customers, no customers the next day, no customers the next day, no customers the next day, but then you get a pop on and you get 4. That's the way you're going to build your business. So when you're serious about building your business, when you don't want to, screw around and look for that 10x growth, the mythical 10x unicorn growth, you need to have some serious software. CloudNet 360 is serious software for serious people. When you're serious about building your business in a real fashion, then take a free trial. You get 30 days to kick it around a little bit. After that, you can go into our Super Starter platform. You get the full system for $2 a day. And you're going to sell more faster when you have a system like CloudNet 360. This is Gary wishing you a great day, and I'll see you next time.